morning, guys. Thanks for coming. So I first just want to introduce, this is Steve Ambrose. He is the CEO and founder of Appetit. So he's going to talk to you about that. It is a local app for local eats. He's also my family, so he's my cousin. So I'm happy that he's here today. People say we look similar, so I don't know if that's the case, but
you said no.
Kind of, yeah. So, yeah. So he founded many other local eating platforms. So he's going to kind of walk you through how he got to where he is today. So this is going to be a very informal event. So if you have questions while he's speaking, please raise your hand and just go ahead and feel free to ask questions. So let's take our cell phones and put them away, computers and so on, and give our attention. So we will welcome Steve Ambrose.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you. My favorite cousin. Yeah, so I started Appetit. Everyone knows DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats. I started a local one in the middle of the pandemic because restaurants were kind of getting hurt by those platforms. They lose a lot of money. The service is terrible. The food always comes, whether it's cold, it takes forever. You know, there were a lot of issues that restaurants faced. So I was actually doing marketing for restaurants before. Social media management, building websites, all that. And when they shut down, I pretty much shut down. So I had about 30 clients on my own doing the marketing for them. You know, I lost that business overnight. So I was pretty much stuck at home. I had a newborn at the time and no income. So, you know, I'm talking to all the restaurant owners that I had already worked with, and a problem that they had seen was the food delivery companies that we all know. So this is a little bit about when we actually launched.
On your Monday New this morning, with many restaurants in Western New York forced to rely on takeout during this pandemic, a pair of Buffalo natives working to help out. 7 Eyewitness reporter Taylor X is showing us a delivery app they created that's aimed at keeping your money local.
That's right, Katie, and many businesses like Buter's Craft Beer and Pizza here in Hamburg are being forced to rely on takeout for the second time this year because of orange zone restriction. Now, the owner of Buter's tells me that operating on curbside pickup alone is not easy, but this new company is stepping in to help out.
Things for Appetit has been very roller coaster. To transition from in-house dining to takeout only, it's very difficult.
Jimmy Butera is still cranking out pizzas, but says it's hard to get customers from all over Western New York to come to Hamburg for curbside pickup. And he's not a big fan of delivery apps.
If you're using Grubhub and DoorDash, the majority of that money goes out of our area, and that is one reason why I've never used them.
But now there's a new app out there doing things differently.
It's revolutionary. I think it's going to be a tool that everybody's going to want to use.
It's a web app called Appetit, made by 2 local guys in the restaurant industry.
And we saw a definite need. We saw that our friends in this industry were suffering, and we had to come up with a solution. We just couldn't stand by and watch.
Bob Heil and Steve Ambrose came together to make a zero-commission takeout app designed to keep money in the hands of restaurant owners.
You know, that 0% commission, how much could that be saving a restaurant?
That could mean thousands of dollars a month that they're going to be able to keep within their operating budget rather than paying it out to some national firm.
It will cost businesses $99 a month to use. Right now, they have 52 restaurants on board.
We're not doing any chains. We're all local independent guys.
Including Tapo, Coulter Bay, Thin Man Brewery, and Buter's.
What they're doing is absolutely amazing for the community, and I could comfortably send my food in a car down to North Buffalo or Orchard Park and know with confidence that that food's going to get there.
And you can use the app here online right now.
Help us, help the restaurants locally. If you're thinking about doing takeout, then we ask maybe you consider placing the order through us.
And we're going to keep the money within the community and do what Buffalo does best, and that's support each other.
And creators of Appetit say it's not just restaurants, they work with grocery stores, liquor.
Yeah, so we're going on 3 years now. We're in Rochester too. So the platform itself, you know, we charge $99 a month. That's all the restaurant pays. On an average order, say $100, the restaurant usually loses about $20 to $30 to the other companies right off the top. So we've saved, you know, our top restaurant, we saved them $42,000 in 1 year. They were able to open a second location with that. So the platform has been, you know, helping a lot of the restaurants, but it's at the same time, it always needs constant update. So we launched originally with just a website because I'm not a technology guy. I didn't know any of this stuff, but I happened to find someone that did. He knew technology, I had the business, and we started building an app. That took us about 6 to 8 months. A lot of trial and error, still not perfect. We're still updating it every day. But once we launched in the App Store, Google Play Store, everything kind of took off. We've since then done about $3 million in orders. It's a drop in the bucket when you look at what the big companies are doing, but we've never taken outside money, never fundraised, never got any grants, anything like that. So what we've done is just brought a really good platform, but also partnered with the restaurants and more of a relationship type building where everything nowadays, every app, every technology platform is automated. Everything's got robots, AI. Not that that's the worst, but that this is the service industry. This is hospitality. People want that interaction, that relationship building. So we partnered technology with that, and here we are 3 years later in a couple of markets, looking to expand into Syracuse, Erie, and Cleveland next. So it's been a crazy journey. I mean, it's not, everyone would look at that and think it's going so well because we've done, $3 million, but everything goes right back into this business, this machine, or else I don't stay relevant. I mean, we're going against DoorDash. They just got valued at $72 billion. Uber, $30 billion. I mean, it's just insane. That you see their ads everywhere. You see discounts and free delivery and all that. They take that money from the restaurant and they use it to funnel to get their eyeballs, which it's hard for us to compete. That's why when we look at a restaurant, we partner with them to reach their followers, to reach their customers. Very organic and kind of grassroots type of marketing, but it's taken longer. But now the goal is to expand because we've done so well with that consistent focus on promoting the local restaurants. Anybody questions right away? I mean, anybody use those apps? No? No one? Friends? No one? All right.
So how did you get started? Like when you were in high school, were you into
food
or computer science?
In high school, what was I gonna? I kind of wanted to get into politics. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I still don't really know, because this isn't my last business venture by any means. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And what I've done is, out of high school, I knew that I wanted to get into either running my own business or getting affiliated with, a developer, something that got me to a point where I could do my own thing without having to go into the corporate world. My first job out of high school actually was a corporate sales position. I was selling carbonation. So sodas, I set up all the breweries locally with all their gas systems and how to pour the beer. And 22 years old, 23, was making more money than I make now because everything's going back into this. But, I never knew where that was going to take me. I just knew after 10 months that I couldn't do corporate sales anymore. It wasn't for me. It's not for everybody. There's people that I would go and watch, some of the top salesmen in our company at that time. And I did not like the way that they treated people and customers and backed them into corners. And, oh, this deal only lasts one more week. You have to sign up today. I knew it was all BS. I mean, the way that they pushed people was not right. So after 10 months, I quit that. I actually went into selling point of sale systems, credit card processing. So I got more into the digital side of restaurants. Built up a good relationship with a lot of them. At that time, I founded the Buffalo Dinner Club. We, would have events with chefs and restaurants and shut down the restaurant and have a bunch of people come in and have a different kind of menu every event. And I just got more and more in love with, the food scene here and hospitality in general, and kept meeting people, kept getting, those good relationships built. Started to build like a personal brand. Most people go and try and get affiliated with a company and hope that takes them down that path. That could still happen for the right person, but for me, I couldn't fit. So everything led to the next venture or kind of adaptation or pivot from my previous, job, if you will, or company. So that dinner club, I thought it was just going to be a fun way to promote the restaurants that worked with me. Kelly came to a bunch of them. We probably had 30 events. We had about 250 people at one of our events. I mean, we sold it out. It was so much fun, and it was a group of people that got together to share a meal, all different backgrounds. People got married out of that group. People got jobs from that group. It was really interesting. That led into the realization that restaurants needed more than just one event for promotional help. They couldn't do it on their own. So I started a marketing company doing that and managing social media, like I said, building the websites, handling all their Google, all that stuff got me more into it. Had I thought that in high school, I would have never thought I was going to get into digital marketing or technology or any way. It was sales, politics, it was being with people, not behind a screen, which I spend way too much time doing. But yeah, that kept me thinking of the next thing. As I was talking to restaurants, if I was doing one thing, I would still listen to all of the other pain points or problems that they were facing. There's always opportunity. I mean, I would always carry a notebook and write things down like, why is this way? Why do I have to do it this way? Hasn't someone thought of this? That's why this happened. I mean, the first rendition of this was not Appetit. It was going to be called Box Appetit. So during COVID, everyone was home. I was going to do packaged, meals from different restaurants with a video on how to cook it, how to prepare it, what drinks to pair with it, something from the chef. So you still have that connection while you're still not in the restaurant. Went out and was going to buy a couple of trucks to do that. And when the business plan came on paper, it just was logistically a nightmare. So we dropped the box, literally and figuratively. And I was like, why isn't someone doing, a service type of solution where they pay monthly? Who cares about each order? I just want 1,000 restaurants paying $99 a month. Like, if they do more, great. If not, I'm still offering them a platform. That's how this was born. This was not a thought even up until probably the month or two before we launched the website. So it's really listening to not always just problems, but listening to people talk about things that they like, about platforms. I mean, I'm going against, again, the biggest companies in the world, Uber, but they have 200 developers on their team. They obviously know what they're doing. They're doing stuff right. So we look at what they're doing and we find the things that restaurant owners and people, users really like and take those things and make them our own. And then we obviously focus on the ones that they don't like because that's where we fit right in. So yeah, I mean, it was built in less than a year and never was in my imagination that I'd be competing against DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, and now in 2 markets and hopefully in more. We've had people, in the beginning, like I said, I don't have this background, so it was me learning a lot. We had people from all over the country reaching out, asking if they could buy this to run in their market, or asking us when we would come there. We had restaurants in Miami, Phoenix. They were signing up on the app thinking we could deliver, and they didn't even realize we were in Buffalo, New York, and just started. So it's been a crazy journey. There's months that, I think we were talking about this earlier, that months that I don't pay myself because I have to make sure payroll is getting paid. I have 7 employees now. They have to get paid. Rent. I mean, we have to constantly update this. I have a team of developers in the Philippines, one here. So there's a lot of moving parts. As an entrepreneur, you think, you have the freedom, yes, but it comes with a lot of the other sacrifices. But it's still great, man. There's people that are just wired this way, I think, and that's how I am. I couldn't really do a 9-to-5 type of job. If I'm working Saturday at 8 a.m., 8 p.m., Sunday at 12, I mean, that's just what has to get done. So, anything else?
You got dashers?
Drivers?
Yeah.
So we have about 70 here and 30 in Rochester so far. They're all independent contractors like the DoorDashers, but I don't just let people sign up. We recruit them, we interview them, we go through, make sure that they have a good, clean background motor vehicle report. If their car, looks like it does, and then you see some of the Dashers smoking a cigarette outside the restaurant. Like, that's not who we are. We're trying to bring a more elevated type of service because that's important to the restaurant. It's not just losing money. You know, if the food gets there and it's not quality, that's an extension of them. So that's who we are. We're really a hospitality company that's driven by technology. So we got about 100 so far. I had one kid that was in college. He made $52,000 just with us, and he was doing college. So our average order is $82. DoorDash's average order is $39 as of last year. So, you know, we're about double the average order. We're not just a cheeseburger and french fries at 2 a.m. for 99-cent delivery. You know, we're a real meal from a restaurant because we don't do the chains and the national franchises. So every driver's making $25, $30 an hour. And they get to sign on whenever they want. They get to pick and choose orders. I still deliver.
How old you gotta be to sign up to be a Dasher?
You got a license? 18, I think, is the minimum. How old are you?
15.
Can you drive a bike? You could ride a bike.
Yeah.
All right. We actually had about 10 bikers downtown. They were just during put a motor on it. But they were doing good too. It was fun. Anything else?
So, what skill sets do you think make you good for this? What do you bring to the table that makes you a good entrepreneur?
Grit. You know, I think that's probably number one. I would have quit probably a million times already. I think about it every day. You know, I got a 4-year-old son. There's days that I'm trying to think about when I'm going to pay myself, how it's going to work out. It's a long-term play, but there's short-term requirements of me as a person, as a father. And I think it's networking. I built up a personal brand not by sitting back and kind of waiting for things to happen. I was very proactive about going out to meet people, talk with them, build a relationship, learn about them. You know, someone that you think might not be someone that could help your career or you personally or professionally in any way. You never know who they know and who they're connected with, what they're connected with. There's so many things that have happened only because of where I put myself previously. I mean, I wouldn't be here had I not followed the next opportunity and kept in contact with a lot of these people. There's still people that send me business that they're not really affiliated in my industry. They have nothing to do with it. I actually met the guy that is my chief technology officer now who helped build this through his wife, who I was in a networking group with when I was doing credit card processing. That's how this all came about. She told me that her husband could build technology and we met. So, you know, I would say it's the determination, networking, and the ability to sell, interpersonal, you know, communication, understanding, and just going out there and saying, all right, I have the best platform right in my mind, think that, and find out how to go about selling it. Because a restaurant owner, totally different than a teacher or someone else. They just don't care, some of them. But you have to create the value proposition for each type of person. Everyone's different. So those are the 3 things that have kept me going.
So for students who are interested in maybe doing, like following a career path like yours where it's very kind of creative and not necessarily something that's seen as like a traditional career path that they can follow in high school, what kind of like professional development or classes or things like that do you think that would be like that I guess would be a good thing for them to think about in the future?
I think you can be an entrepreneur in any industry. I mean, if you think about even a trade, you were talking about it earlier. You can be a tradesman and own your own business. You can be a landscaper that's really good at landscaping and an entrepreneur. I think people often mistake entrepreneurship for just business. Business is huge. You could do any type of business. So in a trade, there's very streamlined, classes for that trade. There's groups for everything nowadays. Entrepreneurs in residence. There's every UB, I know UB I use. UB in Buff State, they have programs, small business administration. So if you want to get into business, they could help you write a business plan, take you all the way to funding. And other people that have done it. Like, to me, that's more important than all of those resources, because I've dealt with every institution, every organization, and they don't move quickly. They're not efficient. They're not very helpful. Only when you keep pestering them, do you often get a response, because they have so many people that they're trying to help. I've only done it by finding mentors. People that have done it. I want to go into something new, talking to someone that's maybe done well or failed. I'm already 10 steps ahead if I learn what they did right, what they did wrong. I think that if you really, are passionate about something, getting into your own business in something, align yourself with a group or someone that's done it before. I mean, that's why I want to get to the point where I sell this or move on or do something and start my own, they call all incubators nowadays, but something where I can look at an idea and cut through the red tape and just be like, we got to do this, this, and this, and here's the money that it'll take to get there, and I'll help you do it. Because that's what we don't have here. If I took this business to San Francisco or New York City a year or 2 years ago, I would have had a totally different trajectory. Buffalo lacks that support for entrepreneurship. Not always, but it's hard to really get to. So I would say that definitely find someone that you idolize or want to kind of replicate what they're doing.
If COVID never happened, where do you see yourself right now?
DoorDash and Uber, they were all, huge businesses before COVID. Obviously, COVID helped increase orders. It helped also put them under a magnifying glass to show what the problems were. If COVID hadn't happened, I would have still probably had that marketing business, because there is still such a strong need for restaurants. They have their server managing their social media, some cousin's friend that built their website. Like, there's still a lot of opportunity for that, and we're still doing that for restaurants. I probably would have continued doing that because I really like that. I take pictures of food and videos of food all day and eat, and promote food. That's not a bad gig. I still do that, but
How do you go about adding a restaurant to the platform?
So when a restaurant's interested, we'll walk them through what they're already doing as far as takeout, what, how much are they doing, what kind of platform, what POS system, all that stuff. And then all we do is build their menu on here, get the pictures that they have, or take our own, and they can be up and running in 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I have, right now it's a standalone. I wish I had access to it. There's a standalone tablet that the orders come through on. But we're also working on getting those orders put into like their in-house systems, so it just comes right in. Ordering right through Google. So just getting their profile built takes no time at all, really. Yeah.
You guys reimburse people for who food gets stolen?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with customer service like that, it depends on what happened. If it's a late delivery, or if the food got dropped, or obviously there's something missing. I know my drivers, first of all, and I would know what happened, and I'll always eat that cost to keep a customer. But it's not just an automated, oh, here's your refund. It's an engagement. It's like, very sorry that happened. I see you was 20 minutes late. This is why. I'm going to issue you a credit for your next order. Do you want the food re-delivered? Well, I'll cover the next order. We have, 90% of our ratings are 5-star. Then you'll find those people that want free stuff no matter what. And we don't just give free refunds, because that always comes out of the restaurant. We've had people get great food, great delivery. I know it's packaged. We have pictures of it. And they say they don't get it or whatnot when the driver's sitting outside the house. So there are people like that, but that's going to happen any time. So I weed that out.
What kind of advice do you have for high schoolers who are interested in a career path like this?
I didn't know what I wanted to do in high school. I mean, does anybody really? There's so much out there. And if anybody tells you that you should, I still don't know. Like I said, I'm 33. This is my, what? Yeah. This is one of my businesses, but it's not the only thing I want to do for the rest of my life. And I think it's good to be open to it. I would say that if you want to get into something like this, find something you're really passionate about or good at or have a skill that's unique and figure out a way to monetize it. I mean, that's a simple way to say it, but there's opportunity everywhere. You can open up, I see there's like 1,000 landscape guys in Western New York. You could do it. There's that much opportunity. You know, I think if you're really good at building websites, do it, because people pay $2,000 to $3,000 for a website. It takes you a few hours, build it. Learn a skill that's different. Learn something that's, you know, valued nowadays. Things are going towards the digital automation and robots and all that. If you're technical, great. You could be making $1 million in a few years. That's all going that way. $1 million is not as much as you thought it was anymore.
Okay, I guess any last minute questions? We have like 1 minute left.
Oh man, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, I'll see you in 3 years.
Well, let's say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.